name's Justin Savage.
And I'm Randy Oswald, and we're going to teach you how to ollie today. Alright, let's see, one thing you need to know about ollies is they do take commitment. They can take up to about, 3 weeks to like 3 months to learn. You shouldn't give up. I mean, if you like skating, you watch skating, you have the potential to get as good as you want if you just practice, and I feel very strongly about this. Alright, well, see, first thing, don't be discouraged by people saying that, like, the ollie, they learned it in, like 2 days or something, because they're just lying, because they're just, trying to make you feel bad, but, everyone had to take the time to learn how to ollie. It's like the first step in skating, and we're going to do the best to teach you how to do it today.
No matter how good a person is, they always had to start somewhere. Rodney Mullen, Tony Hawk, they were probably worse than you one time. So just keep practicing, get back on your board, and you'll get it. Okay, this is the most common ollieing stance. You're going to want to have your back foot on the edge of the tail at the very end, like so. Have that right on the end to have maximum pop. And your front foot is going to want to be 2 or 3 inches below the bolts. It's mainly preference. Sometimes you're going to want to have your foot maybe a little farther than that, or a little closer to the bolts. It's all on preference. Now what you're going to want to do, at the same time you pop the tail, you're going to want to scrape your foot. You scrape your foot across the board so that your board levels out, and then stop when you get to the bolts. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
What's up, everybody? I'm Oswald. I'm going to show you how to do an ollie goofy stance. Alright, well, the feet positioning is exactly the same way as regular, but of course you're goofy. Alright, place your back foot right on the tail, maybe hanging off a little bit, best pop. And I like to put my front foot right behind the front bolts. Remember, the farther your front is forward, your front foot is forward, the more control you'll have over the ollie. The farther back it is, the more height you could get, but the less control you have. I like to have it right there.
Again, it's on preference.
Of course, it's preference, of course. Anyways, let's see. Another something Justin may have missed is that what brings the board into the air is the sliding of your front foot. Sliding your front foot is very important. It's what makes the magic happen, of course. Remember when you slide your foot, it bends sideways like this and drags across the grip tape, the front bolts, and it stops right there. And that's what happens right there. And you remember, you're just going to jump up and bring the board into there with your front foot. Okay, I did that nice small ollie for you to show what it looked like when you're beginning. If you're doing it like that, you're doing just fine. And keep practicing, and it'll make them even higher.
Common problems with the ollie. First off, when you're doing the trick, your board will fly out from under you, or it'll be all like so. What you do to control this is when you're popping the tail, you wanna pop that, but as you scrape your front foot across the top section to land on the bolts, you level yourself out. And what this does is it keeps your ollie controlled, so therefore it will not fly anywhere. Another common problem is you won't pop the tail, such as when you're doing this, you'll have pop and you'll jump up. How to fix this? It's mainly commitment. This trick takes practice, and nobody learned it in a week. It's the very first milestone in skating. It's a big thing. So what you're going to want to do for that is, even if you're not leveling out your ollies really well, just every single time make sure you're making contact with the tail of the ground. It's best that way. don't worry about getting your wheels off the ground yet. Just make sure you're making that contact. What that does is it'll help you to condition yourself for the real thing. Now, another problem. When you're ollieing, sometimes you'll encounter a problem where in mid-ollie your board will turn or rotate, therefore it screws you up and you fall. And what you do for this, make sure you keep contact with your feet on the board at all times. That's another thing with the scrape of the foot. The scrape of the foot, really make sure you get that in there. It levels out the board and it makes it nice, clean, and it prevents the flip from happening. Now, the last problem that I've encountered is not having ollies basically like this, where you're not leveling out, you're pretty much barely getting your back wheels off the ground, but as you're ollieing, the board it's going like this, and then you fall or something. And this is mainly where the foot scrape comes in. Your foot placement is going to want to be about 2 inches below the bolts. This is regular, swit or goofy, and to prevent the credit carding ollies that slant, have that foot, make sure that foot scrapes nice and hard all the way to the bolts. Effects may vary. Another thing, it is common for your shoes to tear up during skating. For example, my shoe. This is one of my friend's shoes. This is from practicing ollies alone. Don't freak out if your shoes start to get torn up. Okay?
Because this is the worst case scenario.
You'll often get holes in your shoes, but skating's worth it, you know. It's great. Okay. That is our troubleshooting section. If you have any questions, you can post them, and I'll try and help you out, as much as possible.